I'm the bridge between the engineers and crew chief and the mechanics. So basically I have a detailed list of all the stuff that has to be done on the car and the stuff that's really important for inspection, as well as making sure that at the end of the day, we've got every little ounce of speed that we can out of this car.
Car chief role is vital. Tyler is the lead of all of the mechanics that go on the road, and there are a few shop mechanics to make sure the car is assembled right from top to bottom.
The car chief is kind of like the quarterback of the team. I would use the crew chief as kind of the head coach, and really the car chief is the guy that is executing, not only during the weekend, but back here in the shop, and keeping the group of mechanics and road crew that go with that car motivated and keeping them focused on the job and the tasks at hand to work and maintain that car and ultimately present it for inspection and ultimately put it on the racetrack to race. That's his responsibility.
Chicago was a unique situation, right? We're in a city and we had never been there. There was a lot of unknowns going into it. Some of the streets weren't even closed until the day before we practiced, late. So we did a little track walk. I think we were happy to see that like the manhole covers and the grates had all been welded down, so we didn't have to think, hey, are these gonna fly up in the race? I think they did a good job with that. So we get in there, unload the car, go through inspection, and that's where obviously all the work from the week pays off. Inspection-wise, I spend a lot of time talking to the officials. There's times when you just have to say, okay, yep, absolutely, we'll fix it. And then there's other times where you have a leg to stand on. But at the end of the day, I mean, the officials are there to keep everybody, an even playing field. So once we get through that process, we get back to the garage and make sure that we're ready to go. I gotta see this. It's actually pretty cool right here. Yeah. They get through there better than I thought they would. The craziest thing about the whole thing was as little time as they gave us to move everything from the garage area to pit road for practice, like Xfinity was going, and they're like, okay, you're gonna have about 10 minutes to move everything that we normally move in an hour, and they were gonna close the track again. 12 o'clock, we'll start pushing. We gotta get everything across the track. In 15 minutes, we gotta get the generator, 3 sets of tires, or 4, the hot dog cart, Benny's tuner box, and the car. We just have to make sure we don't leave anything behind. You can do it. You're young still. It was just like a race to set up. I think we got lucky on that one. Our stuff all come together pretty good. So in practice, basically Rudy and Brandon will be on the backside of our pit road practice cart, and they have a plan for me, and then I just relay the message to the guys, whichever part of the car that we're gonna work on. Same deal, up on the left side first, work through the stuff we always do. We need to check our toes and cameras as soon as we can before we roll. Take a half out of the front. All the wheels are torqued, right? Let's SC those mud flaps. Tyler's passion is huge. He's not gonna be outworked. He's always in the middle of anything. He's not afraid of, it's very intense, I say. So if the car was on fire and he needed to go change something, he's getting in there and he's doing it. He's not scared of anything. And he's a good leader of the group too, so makes our team go. Rudy does a lot more with the engineers. The difference is I'm more hands-on with the car, he's more hands-on with the setup on the computer, and then obviously the strategy of the race is his deal, and then me repairing and making sure that the pit crew guys are ready and doing the adjustments is my deal. We did have damage in practice, so we had to change a toe link and an upper. You good? Benny, you good? Okay, everybody's good. Roll. There was so much stuff that had to get moved. They said, hey, if you want to drive the car back to the garage, you can. I have done it before, but never on the streets of Chicago. I'd say you can get in the passenger seat, but I don't think there is one. I'm gonna do a burnout. I hope you do. It was a traffic jam, but it worked out better. It was easier for us to move it that way. That's the slowest I've ever drove one. Okay, shut this rig down. Sunday morning, we come in, push it to the grid, and then it's race time. The rain was definitely not awesome. That was definitely the most rain we've been out and about working in, for sure. It would have been better racing, in my opinion, without the wet weather. But once race time starts, I kind of take on the role of making sure everybody can hear me on the radio, making sure everybody's radio's on the right channel. And then as the race goes on, stay in communication with the top of the box with Rudy and Brandon. Say, hey, we might get a little damage on the right front or whatever, and then we make a plan from that point. Unfortunately, we didn't run quite as good as we wanted to, but when the race is over on Sunday, whether it's a victory for us or whether it's, we're out of the race, I think some of it is just saying, hey, all right, it's Monday, it's the next week. Now it's time to move on to the next race.
Big run, the 24 to the outside. Down the back straightaway, that's going to clear the 24.
The rain it's right here, and we've been hearing reports about drops in turn 4.
NASCAR has called the race due to weather. William Byron gets his 4th win of the season.
It's easy for us to rebound because we've had a lot of success this year, obviously, and then to go right back and win again, you know, is incredible.
Hendrick Motorsports is the best in the business at overcoming adversity when it needs to. It's those times when it's the people that make the difference. We can have the greatest equipment and shiniest machinery and all the greatest new technology, but if you don't have the people with the hearts and the minds and the passion of winning and succeeding behind those tools, then none of that stuff does us any good.
We're not just, you know, one driver, one crew chief, one car chief. Everybody knows like they have an important role. One thing that I specifically tell our guys is there's no one person who's more important than the next. And I think that really drives home with these guys. Top to bottom, everybody knows that the little bit that they touch this car is a huge part of the success. It's a team sport, and everybody is fully, you know, involved in this group.